I believe you can test the outcome to see whether it worked for you or not. It's just printing 5 items and you can add more. So let's say we want to print the content in a string, for example. So basically just print out each alphabet in a string. So we can actually take out, I don't know, Michael. So let's take the same X, or you can call it a different variable. X in, then we have our string. Can't spell my name. X in Michael, they want to print X. I'll just keep building on it. You can write it new code per session, okay? So this just printing string. So let me just. So if I run it, you notice I've got Michael spelled out per line for me, right? You can do the same with your name or get the user to enter a string and then you iterate through it. I think that would be fun, right? Get a user to enter a string and then you iterate and print throughout the whole string. Definitely commented this out, just the last code we wrote. So we can have a bit more time to play with this one, or a bit more space to play with this one. So we did come across the break and continue statements when we use the while loop. Yeah, so basically we came across the break statement when we did the while loop, and we can use the break and continue statement as well. So we use the break statement to basically stop the loop that's basically just most recent loop, or the most recent, just exit the recent loop and get out of the loop altogether. Whilst continue, we just skip the current one, so more or less. So let's play with it and see. So we print the X in here. Let's add, because I was waffling, so it's better we do it practically to see how it is. So we put an if condition and we say if X is equal to banana, we put a break there. So let's try to see what happens. We want only one X. What did I miss? This, that. Line 6. Doesn't like this. Anybody see something I don't see?
We don't see.
Predictions were true. Okay, and what did I see? What did I miss? What did I miss? Hmm? Oh, there we are. So we have apple, banana, and escaped cherry as well. Let's walk through the code to see what's happening. So we create a list, assign it to fruits, and we have a variable that's just going to iterate each member of this particular list. And we say basically we take X will be equal to what? Apple. Then we'll print X before it checks, right? So that will run again. Apple will print first. Then the next time X has moved to what? Banana, right? So it will print banana first and check to see whether the content is banana and say, yes, it is banana, and will break out of the loop, right? So let's see what happens if we move the print from here and we put it inside there. Actually, let's do it after the break. Let's do it after the break. I'll move it inside or outside. So let's run it and see. We have only Apple printing this time. So the only difference between that and this one is just the position of the print. So the second case, we say, yeah, we assign the value of X to the member, and then we say, if X is equal to banana, break. So first one, Apple, it's not banana, it will continue. Move to the next one, banana, it is banana, so it will break out of the loop and it won't print the apple at all. I'll allow you to write a similar code, but with the list of 5 elements you created for yourself. Range. Basically, at the moment, what we have here is just playing with the list. So we have the items listed down. So for obviously iterates or loops through series of numbers and other things, or list or tuple. So let's say we want to introduce the keyword range. So if we say for the same dealing with X in, and then we put this keyword range, Python allow us to have what? It will automatically start from 0. Okay, it's just a default, or you can have an initial and then a terminating number, and then you have the interval. Okay, so let's start with what? The terminating number, because by default, it is what? 0. But it's not 0 to this number inclusive. It's just 0 to the number before the terminating number we provide. So in this particular case, it will count from 0 to what? 5. It's like saying I want fixed 5 members or 5 elements, but if you start counting from 0, obviously you're just going to end with 4, for example. Yeah. So again, we have in range this, and let's run through it. Let's print X. Let's make this 10 so it's more exciting. And run it. It's code issue there. What am I missing? Somebody see something I don't? There. What's an indentation issue? So I'll move the code so you better see. Run it again. And we go all the way 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to what? 9, because it's not 10, it's not inclusive with the 10. So if I did say we can have a beginning and a terminating, so I'm just gonna comment this out. So later you can write by yourself. Same code. Let's start from maybe 3. So it will be 3 to 10. Then run it again. You notice that it didn't start from 0. It started from 3 and it ended on 9. Again, I'm going to extend this so we can specify the interval. It's quite similar to C++. So you just write for, let's use X equals to the beginning, which is 2, put in the termination, which is maybe 30, just that one is, the termination will be included. And then you put the steps, maybe in steps of X++ for X++, not I. Used to writing in I. So this would be like equivalent in C++. Then comment it out. So we just know the first one is the beginning, termination, and then the interval. So let me put the interval of 2 there. So it increments by 2. Run it again. With C++. Then we have what? It started from 3, ended with 9, but the increment is what? 2, in steps of 2. So I'll give you the chance to do the same, maybe count from 50 to 100 if you want, or just count from 1 to 10 like I did, 1 to 15. You choose your terminate. Sorry? Yeah, 2 intervals. And remember, it's not inclusive, right? That would be the number just before it. So I'll give you a small challenge. Whatever termination you put, let's count from, make the termination 15, but you want the 15 to be included. So count and make sure that the 15 is included. Sorry? Line 10.
Saying the line 9 is the one that's controlling the skipping from 3 to 5 to 7.
This was controlling the skipping. The 2 is the interval.
So there's no, so even if you don't include line 9, you can still do it.
There's no line 9 there. Line 9 is commented out, so it's not. These comments, they don't matter. I'm just leaving it as notes for yourself. Yeah, I just gave you C++ equivalents, like, because they are quite similar. Initial, termination, interval. Makes sense. This is the actual code controlling stuff. So the beginning and then the end, yeah, the range, beginning, end, and this is interval. So let's do something. I'm just going to do it here with you so you can actually y equals input, then what? Count to. I'll make this y, run it. 30. Should have added that. Why do I keep doing that? Actually, chance to modify this. Enter a number to count to, so maybe I'll take 30. String. So start from that and end at that particular number. So I want you to take this and then make sure that that number they enter is included in the count. Yeah? Okay, so if that line 10 to 12, then we know that all we had to do was just do +1 there. To make sure this is printed. That's all. Exactly my point. So praise, and then it's just the interval here. We start from even number. Like, let me just start from the increment of 1. So we actually have it printed. Cool.
Yep. No.
1 second for you to finish your code. Right. So remember, if, elif, else, okay? And then the while we also have quite something similar. What we can do is we can actually put an else to print, which means after this for loop, it's good, important to pay attention to this. After the for loop executes successfully, the else will print. Yeah. So let's say we can print a message just to say for loop completed. Right? Let's run. code. Just put smaller number this time. Let's say 10. Finished. And then it printed for loop completed. Let's try something. We have the else there, right? Let's say in here, we're just going to put a break. So if we say, if X is equal to maybe 6, break, right? Let's run it and see whether the prints will actually print right this time around. Let's put 10. We run it and I keep running again. Enter. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6 did not print, but neither did what? The statement in the else. Because the loop did not complete successfully. We just terminated it prematurely, right? So in that case, we didn't have the else printed. Now, I want you to modify this code. You don't have to put a straight guideline, but basically ask the user to enter the number to start with, the number to terminate at, and also the interval. Yeah, just slight modification. I just want you to replace this with a variable, that's with another variable. That's all there is to it. Yeah. And if you want to write a more reasonable code, you have to ensure what? Ensure that what? Both the initial and then also the interval is smaller than the termination number. Remember how to do that? With a combination of if statement and some while, you can keep asking the user to make sure that what? This number is the biggest number and these two are smaller, but you don't have to do that at this particular instance. Just ask the user to enter this number, ask the user to enter that number as well, and complete this code. So we go back to the first code because we want to test the idea of what? Nested loops. If you remember, we did what? Nested if statement, which was what? An if statement within an if statement, right? Yeah. So when dealing with a for loop, we take what? Each iteration. So if we think a for within the for loop would take the first iteration, complete that for loop, and then come back to the next iteration, complete the for loop within it again. It's easier if we write a code to do that. So let's go over this. We just say, we take color or adjective. So let's have an adjective and we'll make it equal to a list of different colors. So we just have red, or just colors. Let's add big. Let's add yummy, tasty. And I have told you the idea of where most of these are coming from before we started, right? So at the moment, we have what? The X in fruits. Let's indent that, hopefully it will work. Yeah. So we want to take each adjective, then add it to the fruit and print it out. So we just have 4. We can say X in adjective. And we have Y in fruits. We want to print X, then we leave space, and then we print Y. I'm going to comment out this to make life easy for us. Like I said, keep your own version of this code, right? And you choose. So if I run it, we expect, if there are no errors, we expect what? It takes red, that's red here, and it will take apple, but it's still in red. This is not finished. Red, banana, red, cherry. Then it's finished the fruits loop, and we'll go to the next one. It will be big apple, big banana, big cherry. Finish that, and we'll go to the next member, which is what? Tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. So let's see. Just as expected, red apple, red banana, red cherry, big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. Right? So your turn. Do something creative. Or at least you've got a list of 5 elements to play with as well. So let's say I have a for loop. So for x, and I want x to be in a range, in a list actually. So put a list 0, 1, and 2. Let me print x. See what happens. Miss something. What did I miss? Oh, there. Lots of typos today. So we've got 0, 1, 2 printed out for us, yeah? So what if at the moment I just want the shell to be there? I don't really have anything to write in there. And I run this. It gives me a syntax error because what? The for loop cannot exist without a statement in it. Anybody remember a statement we used last time that should work? Yeah. So at the moment, it can exist without any content in it. Right, that brings us to the end of the for statement. Just keep it like that. So this is quite similar with the past statement. It's just quite similar to the if else when we covered if else and we didn't have any content to put. So I'm going to stop the recording now and I'll say good luck with your revision and your Python programming.